Oh, we're recording! Hello and welcome to this episode of Olympus Off-Road's vlog. What are we working on tonight, Daniel?
Today we're doing a follow-up on the Vulcan 215 Mig welder. We've had a few days to use it now, and we kind of want to give some feedback, show the welds, and show what it does. So we've been using the welder now for a little bit. We've put about 10 pounds of wire through it. Couple little tidbits about it. It's got an auto set feature similar to the Miller. You set your wire diameter and you set your metal thickness and you weld. That's it. It has settings for flux core, stainless steel, C25 or C100, or if you have the additional spool gun, it can weld aluminum. And if you want to go full manual mode, you flip this over and go. Just flip that to manual, then set your heat, wire speed, and there you go. One kind of corny thing that I like about it is the access panel. It stays up by itself. So when you're on the inside doing stuff, it doesn't fall and hit you on the head. The welder came with a pretty good regulator. Typical regulator, nothing too special, but it is better than the $25, $30 Harbor Freight one you can buy. The hose it came with as well is a braided hose, so it's not just a thin piece of plastic hose. It's actually quite durable. So that's a good thing. So if you're welding and a spark hits it, you don't automatically just punch a hole through it. If you're going to set it up for flux core, you'd flip it around for ground positive. And again, that's the feeder. One thing I like about it too is it feeds from the top versus the bottom, and it seems to feed a lot smoother than some of the other welders we've used. Another nice little feature is it has a cold wire feed. This is awesome because instead of having to squeeze the trigger on the gun, this feeds it through at the fastest speed possible and you're not wasting gas. The gun is nice and long. It's not a short cable by any means. It allows you, I want to say it's about 10 feet. So it definitely allows for a little bit of range of motion so you're not constricted to being right by the welder. That definitely helps. So we welded with it a little bit, and a few things we noticed is it has a really good pre-flow, and this means that the gas comes out with enough time before the weld starts moving that there's no porosity in the weld. That's a problem that we noticed with the where's the camera going?
No idea.
Come back. This is a problem we noticed with a few other welders, that maybe it's just our technique, the way we weld, but it was a little bit annoying when this welder, the way the pre-flow works on it as the post-flow as well, it's got a good amount of gas coming out of it so that there's no contamination in the welds, and the wire feed is really smooth. Using the auto set, it works a lot better than the Miller in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion for what it's worth. We had a Miller 220 in here. We had a Hobart as well as a Lincoln. We had a longevity welder as well. And out of all the welders that we've had in here, this one's our favorite.
We even had an old Harbor Freight welder over here too.
Yeah, we have one of the old 180s. We did a lot with that welder actually. It doesn't hold a candle to this welder though. So the point I'm making is we've used a lot of welders. And we're really happy with this. Joe, what do you think, man?
Well, still learning to weld a little bit and refine my skills on it. This thing is really easy to use. I feel a lot more comfortable using this than I did any of the other ones we had in the shop.
Cool. So we've talked about it. Let's get the welding.
Nice face.
So we're going to do some 1/4" steel to a piece of 2" cold rolled tube. mistake on that weld. I just realized I was in manual mode. We were a little low on the wire speed. I was wondering why it was pulsing a little bit, and it felt like there could be more wire going into it. So we were a little low on the wire speed because it's accidentally set it on manual mode. So, oops. So we're gonna go back to 0.35 wire and 1/4 inch. One thing you can see with the wire speed not right, we were getting all this slag here, all these weld BBs, and that's not what we want. We've got a piece of 1.5 inch hot rolled, similar. We're gonna weld another similar bead pattern. Now we look at this weld. It's a little pulled because it's a little bit hot, but there's really no weld BBs on there. Any slag just comes right off. So that's with it on the auto set, which is where we want to be.
And I got that on camera.
What's that? You went my eye?
Yes.
At least I wasn't picking my nose. That's gross. Hey! Alright, so we want to show some thinner metal. We're just cranking down to 16 gauge, and we're going to burn and see what happens. So, overall, really good weld. Again, there's no weld BBs, no slag. Everything's nice and clean. It's not bad. You can see on the back the heat profile. Is it moving?
Now it's zooming in, and it will not stop zooming in.
All right, so we've welded a bunch of random things here, and we're gonna do one more weld. We have some 1/4 inch square stock and a 1/4 inch piece of plate, and we're gonna put them together, and we're cranking this guy up to auto set 1/4 inch, auto set 1/4 inch 0.35. Okay, so I did a push and a pull, lower E and then an upper E, just trying a couple different things. You can definitely see that it put a lot of heat in the metal. And it works great. Okay, some follow-up. So we really like the welder. It welds fantastic. It definitely has the strength to weld a lot of the stuff we do. For me, the only downside is the fact that it's from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight gets kind of a bad rap for stuff, and people always want to compare to bigger names and companies that may have been around longer. And in some ways that might be an unfair comparison, but in some ways it's not. Lately, Harbor Freight has been pushing a lot to bring quality products out, and in my opinion, and a number of people that I've had over to test the welder, this Vulcan welder is a fantastic welder. The price point's $650, but if you get an Insider Track membership, I think it's like $30 for the year. It drops it down to $579, so you can get it for a little bit cheaper. I'm trying to think of anything negative. Like I mentioned, the only negative thing I can think of, which I don't know if it's a negative attribute, is just the fact it's from Harbor Freight. Past that, we love this welder. All right, so that's it for the welder review. Overall, like I said, we're really happy with it. Now it's time to get back to work. We got a lot to do because KOH is coming.
Let's get some work done.
Boom. What are you working on?
Well, we're going to finish up this bumper right here. We're just about done. We need to add the one more support on the driver's side, which I'm going to go and shape it down a little bit so it lines up.
This is one of the last of its kind.
That is true.
Why are you beating the metal?
I'm cleaning off the slag. Sometimes it doesn't cooperate.
some ventilation in here. One more time.
It's hot, be careful.
Who, me?
It's hot, be careful.
I am?
No, the metal is.
That?
That is. So's got heater.
Did you have a good day today, Joe? What?
Huh?
It's so shiny!
That's Daniel right there.
What?
Watch out for that guy.
Soon, all this crap will be gone. Man, this engine turned out beautiful. Looks good. I just realized I haven't been recording this whole time. Just joking. They're huge.
You just set things.
Pull it out. Just don't get attacked by the staples.
Ah, there we go.
That is a really
Wow.
long coilover.
Yeah. We were both thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time.
No. What was I thinking?
You were thinking, man, that is a big coilover.
I was thinking, man, I wish I could run an 18 on Zeus, but I can't. Ooh, we're going on a chase. I'm not chasing you in there. Time to go, Joe.
Say goodnight, Daniel.
Good night, Daniel. I want to drive this thing.
So I was just kidding. But hey, thanks for joining us today. And if you guys liked the video, please like it. Please follow us. Thanks again. And subscribe to our channel. Thanks and have a good night.